I'm just going to dive into today's topic, which is a quite emotional one for me. It's really emotional for me, honestly, I won't even lie. But I'm here to, to crave our indulgence as parents and parents to be really, we need to intentionalize praying for our children. We need to prioritize praying for our children, and we need to also intentionalize being present in the lives of our children. This video is inspired by a trending news I saw, making rounds. I stumbled on this news, I think a few days ago. It was on Channels Television or AIT, hereabout. Okay, so it was about a man whose edifice was being demolished somewhere in Edo State, Nigeria, because that particular building was used by his son to murder a lady.
This duplex, located in the government reservation area in Benin City, belonged to one Martins Ogenewere, according to the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Monday Okpewulu, Fred Itwa. The property was the site of a horrific crime involving the abduction and murder of a young woman for the purpose of organ harvesting.
So sad. Okay, so this man reported the incident to the police, and then of course he was detained, which I didn't feel he should have. Even the demolition of his house, and I'm not here to say how he should have been, treated by the Nigerian police. The law has said what the law has to say. But my point is about the son, about the parents, and about his life. I don't know how the young man was raised. I'm not going to even come here and start judging the parents. But the truth is, as parents, you would agree with me that you can tell the behavior of your child from as young as you can even imagine. You can tell, even if you have many kids, you can tell the behavior of each one. God has given us that grace, especially as mothers. We're able to tell, the behavior of each of our children because we have seen the trajectory of their attitudes over time. At no point in time should you think that your child is too young to be corrected, or your child is only being childish, they will outgrow it. As far as their behavior is not in sync with your values or with things that are right or with morality, then you should begin to address it ASAP. Please do not let the sun go down before addressing any behavior that is unacceptable by your child, no matter how young that they are. No matter how wealthy a parent is, no matter how wealthy and successful a parent is, I think that the height of a parent's success is to see that their children are focused and well behaved. Now, it is only when the kids in the family begin to give their parents tough time and sleepless nights that you really know that a man's success is not even in the material things that he can lay his hands on, or the things he has built, the empires he has built, the companies he has, the estates he has all over the place, but in the lifestyle of his children. Now, these are the ones who will continue his legacy when he is no more. And so when I see parents ignore the things they shouldn't ignore in their children, I am just scared and worried for them. In all honesty, parents need to begin to do more. And in doing more, not so much lies in how much you can talk. Some parents will say, I have talked and I have talked. Now, in that video, the man said among his 5 children, right, it's the second one that gives him so much trouble and is more or less, he's gone out of control.
To Faith Medi place. So when I got back to the station, I was detained. And I gave my statement. I had no knowledge that my son could cause this heinous crime to me. It has been a problem to me in this house for the past 10 years. I have taken him to rehab several times, to neuropsychiatric, to Oromina by Ozigo Street off Ekenwa Road. The only thing I now owe him was prayer. He does not sleep at home. He's on drugs. He drinks. So I wouldn't understand his well-being. And now he has caused me this mess. The house I built, which I plan to live my old age and my wife and to enjoy ourselves. That is what I'm witnessing demolition right now.
Come on. Come on, how can the child you once nursed, the baby you once fed, the one who ran to you for safety and comfort, the one who you provided for, put in school, the one who you cradled to bed, the one who you took to the hospital when they could not even, decide their fates, that same child has suddenly gone out of your control. And you keep asking yourself, where did I get it wrong? What did I really do wrong? How was I supposed to raise this child that I didn't? Was I supposed to do it differently altogether? And that is why we need to prioritize praying for our children from as early as they are born. We need to daily speak into the lives of our children, because you know what the devil does? The devil feels that if he cannot get the man, he goes to the woman. Remember during the creation story, right? When the serpents came to Adam, he couldn't get Adam and he went through Eve. That is typical of Satan. When he comes through one person and he doesn't succeed, he goes to the next person. If he still does not succeed, he goes to the children, the other person, until he finds a way to come in. So if your husband does not give in to the trick of the devil, he comes to you, the wife. If your wife is fortified enough, he goes to the children. And that is why we need to, as parents and as mothers, as fathers, as parents, as guardians, we need to speak into the lives of our children. We need to close every door, every crack, that we think that the devil can use to come into the life of that child. We need to use our prayers to fortify the walls, covering our children, just so that the devil does not have a chance to come in. It's worrisome, but what gives me comfort, what gives me hope, is in the word of God that says that our children are taught of the Lord and great is their peace. And I hold on to that a lot, because I know that it is the Lord who is going to teach my children what they should know. But essentially, we need to build structure, family structure, such that we have values that are guiding the behavior of our children early enough. I understand that some persons might say that, but we are a very good family, we have values. I understand that some could even say that they've seen pastors' children go astray, they've seen children from prophets do wrong things. Yes, I know that's a thing, but what is the statistics of children who are taught the way of the Lord? Even the Bible says, raise a child the way he should go, that when he grows, he would not depart from it. The best insurance that you could ever give to your children, trust me, is putting them in the way of the Lord. So that when you are not there to watch over them, the Lord, whom they have already known and personalized and understood, would now begin to teach them what they should know. It's very worrisome how this generation of children, the young ones coming, are overly obsessed with certain things, and they allow the devil to possess them totally. You see a child of 20 wants to be a millionaire already, and the parents are not questioning, the parents are not asking questions. So the moment you begin to ignore the well-being of your child, the spirituality of your child, then it is almost inevitable for them not to be possessed by the devil. So it is high time that parents wake up. My greatest desire is that every parent turn out children who they'll be proud of. That is, I feel that as a parent, that will be your greatest desire. That whatever you have or you do not have, that your child turns out well. Your child turns out well. Your child does not land you into trouble. When I saw that video, I was broken. I was like, this man brought forth this child into the world. You needed to see the building, very beautiful building that was being crumbled.
23rd, 2025.
This is my house. I built this house with my sweat. It's just so unfortunate that amongst my 5 children, my second son is the one that has given me this problem, that has put me in this mess.
To be called a stubborn child is way insignificant compared to being called a murderer. and he could see the bitterness, the sorrow that this man was going through because of the decision of the child. Once upon a time, it's possible that that child portrayed some kind of attitude that could have shown that this is the path that this child is trying to toe. Once upon a time, the child may have said something that you ignored. Parents may ignore some things, some words that their kids may utter, or some behaviors they do. Even when my kids play, I pay attention to the kind of play they have. Even when they play, I used to tell my son, sometimes he does something and he tells some lies, and then he says, no, we were only playing. And I'll tell him, even when you are playing, don't tell a lie. Even when you play, don't tell a lie. Even in the play, don't tell a lie. Do you understand? Like, don't commonize bad behavior. Don't trivialize bad behavior, basically. So no matter what your children are portraying, no matter how young they are, address it as a start so that you will not begin to regret the days of your youth. You would not begin to regret the children you brought into this world, the children you once nurtured. They should be the one to care for you when you become weak. Not the other way around. Not they putting you into trouble, landing you into trouble that you never bargained for. I pray that no parents will face an agony that will be brought upon them by their own children. This is a call for all parents to begin to become intentional about the lifestyle of their children, so that your child will not be the one to land you into trouble and cost you your early grave because of a heart attack. I also remember the story of the man who murdered his girlfriend and cut her into tiny pieces. I'm sure a lot of people have come across that news. That young man is someone's son. A woman birthed that child. He was raised under a roof, in a house, in a home. So at what point did he become this demonized? At what point did he begin to go away, totally away from the way of morality and become this inhuman? So much that he could have the heart to murder another human and dissect their bodies into tiny little bits like an animal. That is just the height. Someone bettered that boy. Someone bettered that young man. So this is a call for we as parents to constantly pray for our children from as early as possible. Beyond that, constantly speak value into them as much as possible. Constantly remind them. Constantly put them in the way of the Lord. Submit them to the altar of God, that God himself will be the one to teach them the right things to do. It is very important, and we cannot take this for granted. If you found this video useful, please like it, share it with your friends and family. Any parents you know needs to hear this. Just a reassurance that by your prayers, your child can still turn out right. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. If you watched up to this time, thank you so much. I'll see you in the very next one. Bye for now.